Hi, do you ever find yourself stuck for ideas for making cards? Because I know I do. You know that I make lots of videos on YouTube for the scan and cut, and I do some sewing like home decor type projects, but I started off paper crafting as a card maker, and sometimes I find it difficult to actually make cards lately. I don't know whether it's because I've got too many ideas and I'm getting myself too confused about what to make, or I just have a lack of ideas altogether. So in the next few weeks, I have about 3 birthday cards that I need to make, 2 for females and 1 for a male. And I sat down this morning and I just didn't have a clue at all what I needed to do. Is to use scrapbook blank layouts. So I decided to search and see if there was such a thing for cards, and sure enough, on Pinterest I typed in card layouts and all this kind of thing came up, and I just literally started scrolling through the blank layouts and kind of instantly got inspiration. So the first thing that popped out on the page to me was this design here. And I think probably because I've just done a video recently where I showed you how to scan some label type shapes, and I put a link on my YouTube video to a blog where I found the shapes that you could scan and use them as cutting files for the scan and cut canvas. So this one popped out instantly to me. So this video is going to be a process of how I end up making, hopefully, a couple of cards. So it's a slightly different format than I normally use, and at the end of it there may be, if not 1, but at least 2 finished cards. From here, what I'm going to do now is take a photograph of this layout on my phone, because my computer is in my home office, but all my craft equipment is in my craft room. So I need to have a point of reference, if you like, to refer back to. So I'm going to use my phone and take a picture of this. I'm going to carry on scrolling through these layouts in Pinterest and see if anything else jumps off the page at me. And if there is, I'm going to do the same thing, take a photograph of it on my phone. Then I'm going to go into my craft room. Here's another one that could probably work, using a shape that, as I say, I've shown recently how to create in scan and cut canvas. Or we may already have a shape similar to this in scan and cut canvas. So I'm going to take a photograph of that one as well, and then I'm going to go into my craft room, and hopefully at the end of this, as I said, I will have at least 1, maybe 2 cards to show you. Okay, so the next stage in the process is I've got the design on my phone just off to the left here that you can't see. I'm going to use this pink colour, I think, as the base card. I normally use white, but I'm going to try something different. So the colours that I'm planning to try and make these cards in are the deep pink. I'm going to use some white, some black, some of this Stampin' Up! Pink glitter paper, and some scraps of the Love Blossoms Designer Series paper pack. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold my cards in half. So I'm going to score and fold. That's hopefully going to give me the base of the card. So I'll do that on both. Now I'm thinking that I'm going to put a white layer as a matting layer. So I'm going to cut a piece of white card that's about 1/4 of an inch smaller than this. Okay, so I've ended up cutting these matting layers at 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and hopefully when they go onto the card they'll give me a nice border all the way around. So that's the base card and the 2 matting layers. Now I'm going to cut a flag design and I'm just going to try and do this by eye and work out roughly how deep I want the flag to be. So I think maybe try that. So I'm going to do it about 2 inches high and probably about 3 1/2 long. We'll try first and see how we go on with that. So 3 1/2 inches by 2 I'm going to try and see what I think to that. So I think that looks okay. So I'm going to flag the end of this. So I'm going to cut 2 of those. So 3 1/2 by 2. Put those on one side. So now I'm going to do another layer to go on top of here. So I'm thinking that this one needs to be probably about 1 1/2 inches. And I'm not going to worry about the length too much at the moment. So I'm going to do another one at 1 1/2 inches. And then I'm going to cut a couple of pieces at about 1 inch from the pattern paper. I'm just doing all this by eye, but sometimes this is the process that you have to go through. And you just see what you end up with. So I'm just going to put one of these together now. I'm not sticking anything, I'm just laying it out just to give me an idea of size. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have a flag made out of this. I'm going to have another flag in the black that's going to sit probably on there. And another one in the pattern paper that is probably going to kind of overlap something like that. Then I want to use the label design. So I need to try and work out roughly how big I want to cut my label on the Scan and Cut. Bring in a trusty ruler and try and work out how big. I want the bracket to sit somewhere like that, but not as long as this. So this one was 3 1/2 inches. So maybe if I cut my bracket at 3 inches, in fact that's probably still too big, 2.75 might be about right. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do a black layer at 2.75 by 2. So I'll just make a note, 2.75 by 2 in black, and then a white layer at 2.5 by 1.75. So I'm going to cut that on the Scan and Cut and see how that looks. So the next process is that I've brought the labels onto my screen in Scan and Cut Canvas, and I've put 2 labels on. I've made one that is 2.75 by 2 inches, which I'm going to cut in black. And the other one I've made 2.5 inches by 1.75, which I'm going to cut in white. And hopefully they will layer on top of each other and they'll be the right size for what I need. I'm also going to put a few little flowers on, I think, as well. So I'm going to put them onto the screen and try and cut them all at the same time. I'm just going to take all these off the mat. This mat's quite sticky. So a tip is bend the mat, and usually what happens is you'll find that a corner lifts and it's easier to lift your design away. Sometimes you have to bend it the opposite way. I don't mean fold it so you crease it, just bend it, and as I say, air normally gets underneath and you can normally get your designs off quite easily. I think I restuck this mat the last time I used it a few weeks ago, and I've not actually crafted recently, so I can't remember, but I think I have restuck it. Just you'll know if you follow my blog, I've been reorganising my craft room and everything recently. So things are in different places than they would normally be. I've just cut a few little black flowers as well while I had the black on the mat. I'll just put that on one side for a minute. So this is what I'm thinking of now. Just tidy up these edges. I'm thinking to use this as a matting layer. I'm going to stamp on that and I'll probably decorate with some flowers. So I think I'm ready to start assembling. So we'll get one base card, one white card. This is what I'm thinking of at the moment. My paper trimmer, as I say, I think needs a new blade, so it's not actually cutting as clean as I would like. So I think I'm going to start off by flagging the ends of this, and to do that I'm just going to cut a slit roughly in the middle. I'm going to turn it over because it's easier to see, and then I'm going to cut from a corner to that line. And that's going to give me my flag. I know I could do this on the Scan and Cut, but this is just how I want to do it. I'm going to do the same with the black. This glitter on this Stampin' Up! Glitter paper gets everywhere. I'm going to do the same again, just cut up about ½ an inch and cut from a corner upwards. That's going to give me another flag. And then the same with the pattern paper. I'm not bothered about the fact that these are too long at the moment. I can trim all that down. I'm thinking that one will probably go slightly overlapping the black. Like that, maybe, I'm not quite sure yet. Might have to make that one then. I'm thinking put the label something like that, stamp my birthday greeting on, and then decorate with the little flowers. So I think I'll start to assemble this and then I'll come back and show you how I've got on. Okay, so I've got a happy birthday stamp. I'm just going to stamp it to see how it looks. That's fine. And do the same with this one. Yeah. Clean this afterwards. I'm using black Memento ink and I'm using the Happy Birthday from the Sky is the Limit Stampin' Up design set. So I think I'm ready to put that on there now. I'm using Tombow glue just because it's to hand. And then I think I'm going to be ready to start assembling. That's how we're looking so far. Bits of rubbish everywhere. Right, so now I'm going to take a couple of these flowers . Find my mouse mat, which is what I use. Put these on here, just give them a, in fact they need to go. Give them a bit of a bend with the end of this Scan and Cut stylus. Turn them over, put some glue dots on the back. Position them, I think. We'll see how we go. Don't know how this is going to look, but we'll soon find out. Have some bling. Put we have pearls or shiny stones? Should we go for stones? Let's see. So that is the card made from that screenshot. So that was a screenshot I took off Pinterest, and that's the card I've made. So I'll make the other one and I'll take a photograph of both and show you at the end. So I know this was a different style video than I normally do, but this is the process that I use if I'm stuck for inspiration. I hope you found it helpful. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and please don't forget to subscribe if you don't already do so, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.